Hello friends, welcome to my Princess Diana channel. Before moving on to the video, if you are not subscribed to my channel, do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so let's move on to the video. Although Meghan thinks to release her shows, Netflix is silent. Is the report telling the truth that Meghan releases 2 new Netflix shows, but the report also says that they may still be in question? Will Meghan still work with Netflix as the film producers earlier asked them to leave the Duchess? That was actually shortly after Netflix received a press release regarding a 3-show contract they sealed with the former royal, confirming production of 2 cooking shows and a polo series for Netflix. However, there is a catch: Netflix did not come out with a confirmation that the shows are actually theirs. The shows are made, but Netflix has not claimed responsibility for the shows. It is only the statement from Arquowl stating that it is working on this with 2 independent production companies and photos from the film assault recording polo positioning players for SETBACK. The footage was taken from Harry in Hawaii and Meghan in Uvalde in an occasion that was never to appear in their life. If you pay for a camera team to film you and report that you are starting a new show, that doesn't mean anybody will ultimately buy it or air it. There is nothing definite or guaranteed in recent media coverage of these proposed projects, the 2 shows, or the American Riviera Orchard. She has no inventory to sell under her trademark applications, and they are undoubtedly just puff pieces written to create interest, similar to the whole, dreaded, will she or won't she scenario. What typically happens after that? Shouldn't Netflix have them all branded as coming soon? Other than Meghan's press release, no other party has issued a formal statement. A few months earlier, Netflix was mentioned as saying they had several projects in development. While at one of those marketing events, Meghan hinted, "So excited to announce what we're working on. We want to make people feel, it would be entirely acceptable for people to feel, enough so that how would Polo and Harry's name do more than feel intensely that Netflix had begged permitted to come set for 1 year to demand everyone does everything she wished as soon as her deal was almost up." In response, Netflix could have uncovered her protests, postponed a different threat to sue her for breaking the agreement, and they are unlikely to talk about it. The most probable option is that both series are low effort and may never post-produce them even if they produce them. Meghan did most likely try to sell her shows, but she did not have a finished product to show. They possibly required somebody to absorb the manufacturing expense for her theories. It is superb thinking Netflix would buy a program about that unpopular polo sport and the overused horses. Mainly because almost no one will watch it. To be a human, did you know that if Meghan thought she was producing her dream show of lifestyle and cooking with that blurry footage of inferior quality, is it so embarrassing to see what she deludes? As far as I know, Netflix has bought the rights for RQL to produce. That person does not have production background, puzzling decision. Perhaps things are different around here now, what with the recent realignment of the movie division, and this project no longer exactly bubbles up to the top of the list of things that need to get done. Who knows? It is a conundrum. Did Netflix buy the book rights for Markle's? What is this Markle supposed to do, sign the director, the cast, the location, etc.? This is not their doable responsibility, and neither do they have a film industry or signatory experience. What does Netflix expect? Presumably, if this project does go ahead, it will be Markle, in the front and center leading role. It almost sounds as if Netflix is actually in here counting on people as hate watchers more than anything. Is this a formula for business success that is also sustainable? Technically speaking, in a large group like this, many of us are hate watching, too, so it would very much depend on the sinners not tuning in to bump the viewership numbers. Were I to have been the individual who paid for a project to be produced by the 2, I'd feel a bit irate seeing them off do a polo and cooking shows. That is, swanning about with the cameras following or boiling a pan of pasta would be the easy-peasy endeavor compared to mounting a film production. I think it could be used to lever them out of the company. We spend our money on a project for you, and you deliver nothing, but she did not have the greatest record when it came to the longevity of production staff and assistants, for starters. Budgets change. People move in and out of roles and company direction also changes. They might have some scandal between now and then that makes them wholly untouchable or very marketable. I'm pretty sure she'd be the one who'd have to get it produced, and it is too close to call if Netflix would pick it up and buy it. But that's only what I get to know, and most importantly, this advice is to Netflix, per Spotify, cut your losses. See this for what it is, a situation with most of the planet screaming, make it stop. Why I say they should stop: first, there would be a show about polo with a player who is proven to be abusive to ponies, for example, and who seems to be an avowed racist along with most of his former teammates. Open the first episode with the only centibale, but the first centibale that generates the proportions of the centibale match, benefiting him. You could say, Africa is metered high in my soul, and never say a word about Africa Park. And KO, his lovely park. And once she had inserted his testicles into the cup, she refused to let go of them from her grip, showing the kind of outstanding rudeness and disrespect for anybody who wasn't her. And, well, if Harry doesn't fly Apache helicopters, he may have the charity centibale to exploit polo. He would have to think of something like he needed another trip to the Antarctic, or the Arctic. Will people see this thing unless the polo one is well done? How popular was the Invictus documentary? Will Meghan have to tag along to get people to watch? How is that going to make him feel? And then the other show. Let's call it cooking. She's definitely out of her league in this department. B.C. She doesn't just scatter around like a rat from an exterminator, but in the few years past where the segment has seen her, her lice blew around faster than a polo pony's tail. Is that even included when she cooked the toast temple called Fancy Toast? Because she liked her grandmother's bread and made apple butter. What grandmother? Perhaps the grandmother, a person. Well, a person could be pointing to the grandmother in the photos of Meghan and Harry's wedding. No, she wasn't. These two are the lice on humanity's head. What do they take for these two to bother off? Sick of watching Harry and his wife prance around with the odd polo. I don't see Netflix interested in this. Harry has a record of abusing the polo ponies. I stand for the animals, and their welfare is above everything. Would I want to pay Netflix to watch an animal abuser? No. And then, against all advice, he rode a heavily pregnant mare in a polo match. She went into distress on the field, was taken off, and died of a heart attack within a few minutes. Then, there are ponies being tortured and injured by his use of spike spurs. A very uncomfortable photo to view is that of a polo pony that is bleeding and writhing in agony and pain as Harry digs the spurs in time and time again. The backlash towards Netflix would be monumental and very damaging. Meghan is not a chef, and that market has more people in it than a freaking sardine can. Pervs are the only people watching Meghan roast a chicken, who will watch Madame Mediocre. It's finished. Funny to say that, but she can't make Harry have anything. What is mine, and what's yours is also mine. Hawk she didn't get credited with the name on the credits for Spare somehow. Anyway, that show will surely die an early death if it ever gets released on any platform. They have no imagination. After the Netflix deal has ended by mutual agreement, they will do reality TV, like Keeping Up with the Markles. And finally, no matter how hard she tries to get back, in fact, she probably wouldn't do that. Most likely, she would remember when the last time she had a meeting, let alone plan a reunion. Cooking. No. Gardening? She hated the outdoors. Friendship? Not of a real friend. Then, I need to write more about Meghan's brand, American Riviera Orchard. The timing of the release of that website and those woefully incomplete videos that were blurry were meant as a furious clap back at someone or something. Most likely, Netflix is going to pass on that lifestyle cooking show. I bet she released the stuff she presented to them as a taster, look at my fabulous ideas, and they said, not interested. I had considered the launch of her business a rushed job because of Catherine, but the cancer announcement came a few days after Meghan gracing the world with her orchard. So, she was just 100 million views mad at Netflix and thought in her head that she would just get 100 million views on that within 24 hours, and they come back crawling. That didn't happen. Now, she is stepping back from even more business launches out of respect for Catherine's illness, or maybe Catherine's to blame because there has scarcely an interest in conducting the business. Take your pick of her excuses. It's not going to be what you think. There's more to come. I wonder if, verily, her life consists of shopping, fittings, parts of the decor where the event will take place, planning photographs, staging, preparing and memorizing any dialogue she will be saying, and coordinating with other people at the events that she will go to. She's always wearing the latest trend and staging everything. This is always at an event. It's like she's doing the royal thing here, and they're doing public service. Meanwhile, she's a service to herself. I don't know what she does with the rest of her time. Meghan is a vivacious head case. I'd hate to be in hers. For her, it passes. I remember thinking out loud, no one is going to believe me. This is a mentally ill woman. We'd all laugh. It was scarier than that. In the end, the whole conversation has left me slightly confused. Meghan has no future projects, except for a cooking show. And a polo show. Where will they be broadcast? In Netflix. To be honest, if I can guide a press release that says they're coming to Netflix, the show's over. All summed up, I do mean, who is watching this? That's it for our video, my friends. I hope you have liked it. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, and like the video. If you haven't done so yet, if you want to be first to be informed about my content, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on notifications. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself and stay healthy. I'll see you in the next one.